Okay, sticking to the UFC 153 card, this time it's a light heavyweight bout between Rampage Jackson and Glover Teixeira. Now, Glover recently making his UFC debut was a successful one, and Rampage almost on the way out the door. So a lot at stake here in this particular matchup. Very intriguing. We're going to start off with Jason first. Jason, I'm going to open up Glover, the favorite. This might surprise some people, but I'm going to open him up minus 170. The comeback on Rampage is going to be plus 140. Give me your take and give me your bet.
I agree with that line. It's kind of a shame that I have to bet for Teixeira, not so much because of his skills, but because I don't think Quentin Jackson can come into this fight mentally prepared or possibly physically. He came in overweight against Ryan Bader at UFC 144. We hear reports of him increasingly being out of shape in camp at 260. 255, 260, and then he's making those drastic weight cuts. And it seems like he's going down in weight and getting in shape just to get paid rather than Teixeira, who's going to be dropping that weight, who's also a huge light heavyweight, to come to win. It seems like Teixeira's very, very hungry right now, and Quentin Jackson, as you said, has a foot out the door. And whether or not he's going to go out with a win is a big, big question. That's why I think, Teixeira absolutely is going to physically dominate Rampage.
Okay, so Jason is going to lay the slight juice. It's going to be minus 170, so 850 to win 500 on Glover. Let's throw it over to Luca. Do you agree with Jason on this fight?
I have to agree with him again here. It is a tricky fight, though, because with Rampage, well, it is tempting to just be like, yeah, Rampage, he's not going to show up. He's going to be unmotivated, blah, blah, blah. He's a very talented fighter when he does show up, and that's always a possibility, especially since he does resent the UFC. He might want to get revenge on them. You look at Josh Thompson versus Gilbert Melendez 3 that just recently happened. Everybody was counting out Josh because, he's so talented, but sometimes he doesn't show up. Well, then he showed up for that fight and surprised a lot of people and arguably won it. So that certainly is a possibility with Rampage here. I'm not going to count on it. And even if he does show up in decent shape, I still would favor Teixeira slightly. Rampage, he's a flat-footed boxer, and when guys throw strikes at him, he plants his feet, he covers up, he tucks, and tries to counter with power hooks. Well, Teixeira, that plays right into his game because he likes to stay at range, throw straight punches, long kicks. So I think Teixeira is probably going to pick him apart. And then you got to also consider the fact that maybe Rampage does come in really unmotivated, out of shape. Then that makes me like Teixeira even more. So I do think the line might be a tiny bit high, and when the fight actually comes around, I hope to get a little bit lower line on Teixeira before I lay my personal money on him. But for the sake of the show, I will put my money on him because I definitely think he's a more likely winner, and there is not enough value on Rampage, not even close.
Both of our experts do agree once again that it's Glover Teixeira over Quentin Jackson at UFC 153. Stay tuned for our odds adjustment segment with Miguel and I to get our thoughts.